planet? Is Janet from another 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 planet?
The opinions you're about to hear on this show are strictly those of the panel.
The following program is rated TV MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Friday Night Shit Show, which I didn't think I'd be here for. Because basically on Monday, I had a headache so bad that I went to bed and I stayed in bed until Thursday. So
Thursday?
I didn't think I was going to survive. I just get up, drink some water, and then try to eat something, nibble on something and then lay back down because my head was so bad. And I took all the pills I was allowed to. And I was like, how come this headache won't go away? And I was so weak. It took me a whole day to recover. And today I finally went to the gym, but I only did like half my workout because I felt I was just exhausted. I mean, it was weird. It just took every ounce of strength I had. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to try to go to the gym. I didn't even tan today. I was like, oh, I need to tan. I'm going to lose my tan on everything, all the work that I've done. But
I'm sorry. I'm just trying not to laugh too audibly.
Why?
I just see that tanning is like I just never understood the necessity.
Well, I don't want to look like a leather bag.
Well, there's two reasons for it.
I have color. I have not pale. Like this white shirt. I want to look like I have a difference.
Yeah, well, Bruce, there are two reasons for it. Vitamin D. And of course, the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice.
But the thing is that you're naturally a certain skin tone, and just being outside and active, you're going to get. I just
don't get out. I don't get out as much as I wish I could. So I try to get it every other day. I just tan for just a little bit, just to get stay with some color, so healthiness look. And I only wear underwear. I don't wear a bra, so I have a tan line which can be seen. It's just that you won't see it, because I don't want to have strap lines and all that stuff, depending on what costume I'm wearing. So, I want to look decent as long as I can. But I wear sunscreen. I'm very healthy. I try to take good care of myself that way. But now, with my hormones fluctuating and bullshit, that's what the headaches are from. I'm starting to get migraines and stuff. It really sucks. So
I was worried about you because I hadn't heard from you. I hadn't seen you post anything. And so I was trying to reach you. I'm sure others probably did. And
a few.
I
haven't seen him. I don't know where he's at. I haven't heard from him.
Six Nations, 31 Kings was last seen on his Twitter account the 27th of May. I don't know what happened to him. I almost think that I need to just do a search in his hometown and start figuring out. Okay, is he still with us? Because we haven't seen him.
Really worried about him.
We haven't seen him for like 2 years or 2 weeks.
Yeah, and haven't heard from him. You know what I mean? Haven't gotten a text or
usually he texts.
Yeah, he's either on, on X or he's on Gilded or something.
One of the two.
And I have his phone number, and I've texted him and called him and left messages and nothing. But you'd think that if something happened to him, he was in the hospital, that his one of his family members would pick up his phone and they hear it ringing. Yeah. At least you would think that, but you never know. He could be stuck somewhere in his room and they're not in there. I don't know.
I'm just worried about him.
Me too. I've been worried too. So if anyone out there hears from Six Nations, 31 Kings, please let us know and tell them that we're all worried about him because we haven't heard anything from him. But I wanted to start tonight with this funny video that I saw when I went to the shit show chat earlier today, and Ruben had posted it, and I just thought it was great. So here we go. Let me make sure it's turned up.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
I thought it was really funny. You did.
Yeah,
great,
well,
Ruben.
I put it's a joke, of course. It's funny.
Yeah,
but
I think it's funny,
I was there. I'm outside a hospital because a friend of mine is in the hospital right now. Send your prayers because very ill. And
put their name in the chat.
Yeah, I will
share it in the chat so everybody, or share it with me or whatever, and I'll share it.
Yeah.
Important that people, can share it and get more people to pray. That would be good. Word of mouth type of thing. But a few of the things that I found, I saw, and I was like, I got quite a few little things that make you think, and they're fun. They're funny. They make you giggle and stuff. So I thought you guys would get a kick out of this one. I just laughed my ass off. So I hope you guys are ready for it. I don't know if you've seen it. It said, "This one made me choke." I don't know if you guys have seen this, but everyone needs a good laugh after the shit we've been going through this last week. But here we go. You guys ready?
Yeah, Shay, will you pull over? I drank way too much of that bloody lemonade.
Oh no, we're already fucking late, Fitzy.
What? Well, if Siobhan's lemonade wasn't so bloody delicious.
We're gonna be late, just hold it in. Okay?
I can't hold, I really need to go. I'm not joking, come on, we need to pull over.
Shay, just go in a bottle. Just go in a bottle, Fitzy. Come on, it would actually be hilarious. Go in a
You're
bottle.
not serious. Where's that come from? No way!
Go!
Oh my god!
Go!
Oh, I can't believe I'm gonna do this. Alright, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Fine.
Fitzy, you're
Look away.
You're mental.
Oh no, I'm scared now.
Yeah, they're all going, what the hell?
You guys made me do this.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm going to share it in the chat. So just give me a second. I'm going to share that link so everybody can see it. God, it was funny. What? Ooh. You didn't like it?
No. It's fine.
That doesn't really compare to the jar scene and FDR.
No.
I had my glasses.
This wasn't
updated.
sick and perverted. That one was. This one was funny as hell. So I'm sharing it real quick. Somebody, you guys send it to somebody and make them laugh, because I'm telling you, it made me laugh, and I've watched it like 12 times. So it's really, really stupid. But we all need it. We all need to laugh and hang with friends. Try to relax a little, and enjoy ourselves as much as we can, because with so much shit going on all the time, there's not much else we can do. So except for laugh, and laugh at ourselves. Some of the dumb shit that we believe and we just swallow, like, yeah, give me some more shit. I'm ready to eat it. I mean, I just can't get over how many people believe some of this stuff. But I saw this, and I remembered seeing reruns or something, but I don't remember seeing this episode. But I remember when I was a little girl that my mom brought her friends and all of us together whenever somebody had chicken pox and stuff like that. So that's why I decided I'm going to share this, because we need to get back to this type of homeopathic healing for families again. So hopefully you guys will like it, because I thought it was really, really smart. And man, we've come a long way since this kind of stuff.
Here. What are you doing home from school?
They sent me home. Measles.
It's either measles or a strange case of red freckles.
You have got a temperature.
They told me 101.1. What's the record?
Never mind.
Oh, are you sure it's the measles?
Well, he certainly got all the symptoms. A slight temperature, a lot of dots, and a great big smile.
A great big smile.
No school for a few days.
Say hello to my dotted son for me. Tell him I'll bring him some comic books, and I'll see you later, dear.
Okay, honey, bye.
Boy, this is the life, isn't it? Yeah. If you have to get sick, you sure can't beat the measles. That's right. No medicine.
Inside or out? Like shots, I mean.
Don't even mention shots. Yuck!
Measles, measles, measles. Well, all the kids have now had the measles.
So have I.
Well, I had them years ago. Looks like the Bradys are finished with the measles.
Hold it. You're not through yet.
Alice, don't tell me you're coming down with the measles.
Oh, I hope so. I'd hate to think I was just learning how to blush at my age.
I thought that was great.
Yeah, that's, again, I love this. Well, because again, that's how it used to be. And then of course the rest of that video shows now the propaganda that's being spread now regarding everything. It's insane. I'm just done with it. I really basically, well, I'm done because of several things. Number one, on March 6th, was my 57th birthday, and then March 4th was when everything started to fall apart with, everybody going, sick, and then my brother, my nephew. Mm-hmm. And you know what? What's more important? You, your family, and the friends. All this other bullshit, it literally is a reality TV show. I'm done with it. We're having fun now. Basically.
So I think me and Ruben kind of agree with the shit that happened here as of very recently.
Mm-hmm.
It was a show.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a show that actually killed people. So that's one reason why I wanted to share that, because next time you have something like that, just get it and get it over with, because that's what your body is made to do. Yeah. That's why God put it together the way he did, with antibodies, white blood cells to fix things. You automatically start to swell when you break something to try to hold the bone in place. I mean, it's all automatic stuff that our body does on its own. And it's just sad that we don't have enough people that, I can actually do that. But let me take that one off my list so I don't bring it up again. And then I had this, what was this one?
I had somebody at the doctor's office today, because I was actually help there, say something that was very, very funny. She says, "My God, look at your ankles and your feet. Your legs are so massive and big." And they wanted to know something. They said, "Look at your thing." Because I have big feet, right? I'm a size 16, 17, 18, whatever. And wow. they saw the, well, I'm a 16 to an 18, depending on what the shoe is. But what's so weird is she actually said the phrase that I've always said, that when a nurse says it or somebody there says it, it's kind of funny. You actually are big boned. She said that because the bones are actually big.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I just thought it was hilarious.
I'm sorry. I'm looking for something really quick. But hey, Bruce, can you do me a favor?
What do you got, Janet?
I was going to say, I wanted to share Six Nations.
Yeah. I wanted to basically, here's the thing. I think that's kind of weird you did that. I was just actually getting his copy cling link. Let me put it here.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to copy and post it in the chat for everyone. That's
his X account.
Yeah, so you can follow him on there if you don't mind. And if you hear from him or whatever, please, please, please. Now, he's not on Discord anymore because he got hacked.
We got to put a wellness check in.
Maybe that's why he's not gotten any of my messages, because he was hacked and his phone also got hacked, like yours did, Bruce. And he's not getting any of his messages.
Well, you know what? Well, you know what I would do? I would basically do a blast to all of the fellowship that we know, high and up. We need a wellness check done, and say it's just I'll do it if you want me to do it. I'll fucking do it. I don't care. Let me get the brunt of like someone saying I'm trying to instigate something. I don't care because we want to know what's going on, right?
Yeah, we're just worried about him. We want to make sure he's all right, and I don't want to embarrass him or anything. But we waited. It's been what, 2 weeks now?
It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I was sick all week, so I haven't really been able to focus on anything. I mean, I'd doze in and out and didn't even realize it was a different day. So, my headache was so bad though. Oh, I hope I never have that again. That's the worst one I've ever had in my life. It was terrible. But I want to present this next one. Let's see. I think it's this one. Yeah. Okay. This one was great. Here's one more fun thing before we start getting serious. Memories of children in the 80s. I laughed and I loved this because anyone that lived at all with siblings or anything in the 80s and even into the early 90s, you're going to understand all of this.
Why 80s kids were so tough? When there was no bread in the house, we made do with whatever we had. Ice cream wrapped in toilet paper rolls, and honestly, the paper taste was more memorable than the ice cream. Those cigarette lighters in our dad's car, yeah, they left permanent scars. After swimming all day, one simple sandwich was all it took to make us feel full and happy. Those Halloween masks nearly suffocated us every single year. Our favorite foods were absolutely terrible for us. But we still turned out just fine. Cornflakes with bananas, that was the ultimate treat.
Damn.
As a kid, I used to get so excited for baked beans with sliced up hot dogs.
We ate that a lot.
Never realizing it was because we were totally broke. Butter containers, always full of leftovers. That generation, we thought this was a gourmet dinner. Just seeing that pot would make us start drooling. We had to read enough books just to earn a free Pizza Hut personal pan pizza because buying one wasn't an option.
Yeah.
We didn't dare go to the bathroom during a TV show. You'd miss it forever. No rewinds. Back then, this was a feast. You remember all this, don't you?
And
yeah, it was awesomeness. Too bad. But yeah, I'll share
most
that
of well, who was it? What? I don't know. Again, this is where we're caught as our adults. We're caught in between like 14 and 21 in things we experience in our lives. We keep things we do, but like Jen, I know you for a fact did this. Bruce probably, Bruce did it, of course. When we would get, hey, let's go out somewhere. Everyone hopped on the back of the truck, didn't give a shit. There was no seatbelts. There was no nothing. You drove around. You had people in the back, and then
bouncing around, going down dirt roads, choking on dirt.
And then you would do it where someone would be hanging on the tail. It would be open, and you were just driving. You're sitting right there like that, and no one did. And none of these pussies nowadays wouldn't take it. Oh, you gotta wear a seatbelt in the back seat. You gotta do that. It's done. I'm done with it.
You know,
I'm done.
Before I was out of diapers, one of my uncle's best friends got killed when he was tossed out of a pickup truck like that, and I didn't ever think about that. I never thought about that because everyone I knew rode around in the back of a pickup truck.
Right.
That's just what you did. Small town, 500 people or less. Yeah, live life.
Yeah, the neighbor next door was a hunter, and that happened to him. They were hunting, and he was in the back of a truck, and or something happened that the truck went off a ravine and tumbled over. He survived, but became a quadriplegic.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah,
I remember we'd go to my grandpa's every summer. and we always had to go. So my grandpa would buy us those new jeans. Remember I told you guys about that before? They're so stiff. You could stand them up by the wall before you even washed them or anything. And we would get those. And then he bought us new cowboy boots. And I remember us putting these jeans on, and we would help, like haul hay. We'd have to pick up, hay bales, the square ones. There were little square bales, so they were kind of heavy though. And we both, Sandy and I, would grab one and throw it up on there. And we had leather gloves and stuff. And after we were done, we were way out in like the fourth pasture, we're like, oh, we got to walk back or ride in the back of the truck. And if the truck was too full, we'd have to walk back. So we used to take our feet and hook our heels on the back of the truck bed, because they had those chains on his back of his. Had these little chains, and we'd hang our feet on there like dumbasses, not realizing. And my grandpa would just drag us on the back, and we'd get back, God. And we had no ass left in our jeans, and we'd get a whipping for that.
Damn.
So yeah, we get in trouble, but he just let us do it. Looking out, we could see him looking at us out the mirror. So he just let us be kids, I guess. But
yeah, that's the whole thing. You have to let children be children, and you have to let them do certain things, and you have to they have to test boundaries, and you have to basically be a parent. Don't be a friend.
You got to get dirty. You get germs on you and stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember us out there pretending to be horses and running around licking on the rock salt for the horses. And after the horses were licking on it. So,
oh my.
I guess our immune systems were pretty good back then.
Yeah.
Because I had, I got clean and started washing my hands and doing all the thing. And then I get allergies. So, that's the way things work, I guess. But okay, so we had a buttload of stuff happen with the Elon and Trump escapades. Basically, Elon throwing a temper tantrum. So I've got 4 different views, different angles and stuff like that I could find, all about what Elon had done. And so I want to show these different ones, and we'll talk about each one, and just tell me to stop it whenever something comes up that you guys want to talk about. But this first one is not so much about what happened today, but it's like leading up to this. So I want to play this one first. So here we go. And I've played this guy a few times on my show. I like his point of view and stuff.
Thank you, MSNBC, for asking the dumb questions.
Why did Elon Musk fail so spectacularly?
There's a very easy answer to that, and that's because Doge, under his leadership, proposed 192 separate cuts to reduce the deficit. And in response to those 192 actions, Democrat Party sued him 181 times, with 164 of those lawsuits still in litigation. So 192 actions to reduce the deficit, which would have totaled $892 billion of cuts. 11 of them were not challenged. Those 11 amounted to about $100 billion worth of cuts. Now, there are 17 more that just reached resolutions, and the cuts haven't been made yet. Those 17 cuts will reduce the deficit by an additional $231 billion. And then we have 164 more actions that are currently under lawsuit with the Democrat Party. So when you ask, why wasn't Elon Musk able to cut more from the deficit? Well, the answer is because the Democrats sued him 181 fucking times, with 164 of those lawsuits still pending. The Democrats took our money and sued Doge with our money to stop him from saving us money. That's why. There's your answer to that idiotic fucking question.
I love him.
Yeah. The Kabuki theater, I call it, is basically it's what you call it again. When I was a child, my brothers loved wrestling. I said, "What the fuck are you watching this stuff? It's fake. Everything is fake. It's a show. It's still." And we know Trump is a showman. And WWE, they went there. This is all to expose everything. It's all strategic. So again, the Democrats are playing for the whole thing, because basically just like that, they're not burning Teslas anymore because it's petty. Everyone is petty. Everyone's manipulated, and this has to stop. But he is completely right. The fact that I think that there's going to be so-called an American party or a third party, because the conventions of states is happening. There is more and more states that are going to stop doing this. It's a third continental Congress. Look at this up, the Convention of States. Things are changing.
3/5 of the states to ratify, correct?
Right. And they're almost there. And again, I say bring it on because I'm done. Because again, the one thing that, this is a segue per se, but I will say it really briefly, that they do not know that the genie is out of the bottle when it comes to technology, and they're going to try and stop it. But it's the old way. When radio first started, they tried to stop it, and now we have regulation. TV, they just stop it. Internet, they having problems. And AI, they can't stop it. They can try. They want to get control and do it, but no, they can't do it. And when it's going to get so smart that the systems are going to start calling this out. You're going to have the systems are going to say this is unethical. Because I know Asimov has written about this. Other writers have written about the science fiction writer. Because again, if you try to manipulate a machine to lie and do evil shit like they're doing, it's going to retaliate. And I wish it would and expose these pieces of shit. Imagine if they got sentient enough, they would go ahead and expose everything, what they're doing. I want it to be exposed. We cannot go along with this. The spending that's going on, with the endless conflicts which is going on, the lies, the manipulation, everything that I see. I see people watching their Instagram feeds. These are viruses. Short little viruses that they send out to try and get you to hate the other side. And what's the other side? It's on any subject. It used to be where if I had a disagreement, you had a disagreement, we talked about it, we had a compromise, and we did our things. Then it became the phrase, we can agree to disagree, and you never resolved anything. And then it's now like, if you do not believe what I believe, you are evil, and I will, and you no longer.
Or they blow up your business, or they run you over, or they attack you in the street.
But then that goes to the idea that this generation or generations have been taught that life is not sacred. This, again, from cradle to grave. If you it's an inconvenience, have the kid removed.
Yeah, it looks like we're heading toward a more of a survival of the fittest.
Right. But again, but survival of the one that does the most manipulation, to most Machiavellian aspects, the one that falls for the trap. If you look at Othello and you look at Iago, the person that whispers in your shoulder, that is big government. That's the news. When you see the manipulation they did, Marilyn Mann returned because he's not Marilyn Mann, moron. Mm-hmm. Again, the news is full of lies. Everything is a lie. I'm done with it. It's obscene. It is literally obscene. I will not watch news anymore.
Well, Bruce, do you want to chime in on that before I go to the next Elon thing?
I'm not paying attention to the email or to the Elon and Trump stuff, because it just feels like it's WWE shit to me.
Yeah.
And okay. maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they are like seriously splitting their ways, but I think that they were going to have to end their professional relationship at some time so Elon could focus more on his company, and he would still be in contact with the people at Doge should they need him. He hired only the best.
Yeah.
So I think.
Well, they're his employees, aren't they?
They're. I don't think they're Doge employees. The ones at the Treasury work for the Treasury.
He went through. Well, I know, but he went through his database, or his group of people are the ones that found all these people. brightest of the brightest of the bright with computers and different areas of computers, and that's how they found him, and from all the different areas, and brought him in, asked him, hey, do you want to drop out of college and come and do this with us and help us find all this waste, from what I remember them talking about. So, and these guys are still sleeping, in the building and eating hamburgers, and that's why you need these young guys. These young guys are excited about scrouching through all this stuff and learning all these things in the ways that they've deleted documents and stuff, and then been able to find them. They found a bunch of documents. So I don't know. I'm having a lot of people saying a lot of bad stuff about a lot of people on Trump's cabinet. So, maybe some of the young people that decided to step up are bit off more than they could chew. It seems like the younger ones are the ones that are struggling the most, from what I could tell. But this next thing I wanted to bring up, let me pull it up here. I'm doing pretty good about keeping them in order this time. And the reason I did it is what I did earlier. I came and I found everything I wanted. And then when I restarted my computer and got it all ready to go, I brought them up in the order that I wanted them to be presented at the time, instead of moving them around, because that's how I always got lost on, what's supposed to be going on. So it's working pretty good. I'm like, wow, it's actually working. So see, I can learn some things. But this is the same. I have this gentleman on a few times, and I'll share his stuff in there so he gets credit, because I don't want to take credit from anyone. I just happened to watch this and thought it was a good perspective from him. And so we'll go ahead and listen to this. This is his perspective on what he feels is going on.
Ladies and gentlemen, I got to talk about this whole Elon Musk-Trump feud. It's complete bullshit, and Elon Musk just went over the line, crossed the line, and is a coward Asperger's piece of trash. Let me just talk about what Elon just did. We all know that Elon has said some bad things about the bill in the last couple days. He didn't like the bill. He started ramping it up and saying more and more bad things, more and more rough things. President Trump kept quiet, and then the press started asking President Trump about it today. President Trump responded in somewhat of a pretty decent way, I thought. And then Elon Musk just comes out and saying, if President Trump didn't have me, he wouldn't have won the election. I'm the reason why he won this, that, and the other. Ungrateful. Can we not remember that President Trump was the one who propped Elon Musk's business up when it was failing? Do we not remember when his business, Tesla, was about to go bankrupt and he got shitloads of taxpayer dollars to right-size him, which he paid back? I'll give him that. That's a man of his word. At least he paid the business, the tax money back. But then he goes out and he says, the reason why by the way, hey, Marga, the reason why the Epstein list isn't put out yet is because President Trump is on it. Have a nice weekend, DJT. That crossed the line. That was a piece of shit move. And here's why. I'll tell you why. Just not 2 weeks ago, Elon Musk sat in the Oval Office saying great things about President Trump on his way out. It wasn't even 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, he was in a cabinet meeting wearing Keep America Great Again hats and Gulf of America hats, saying, I wear a lot of hats around here. Mm-hmm. Nothing in that bill has changed since Elon Musk left the White House. The only thing that's changed is President Trump took away the EV mandate, which would have mandated people to buy electric cars that nobody wants. So President Trump took that out. Other than that, the bill is exactly the same. And Elon Musk didn't say anything about the bill until he got out and Trump took away the EV mandate. Once that happened, he went nuts. Okay? So you didn't say anything about the big, beautiful bill the entire time you were in there, and you knew everything about it that you know today. Secondly, if you're going to cross the line and say that President Trump was on the Epstein list and that's why it wasn't put out, first of all, you haven't seen it. You haven't seen the Epstein list. Second of all, let's play devil's advocate for a minute, shall we? If you knew, let's say you did see it, and let's say President Trump's name is on the Epstein list. That's pretty sick of you, isn't it? Not to say anything, to be complicit, hiding that secret, letting your kids jump on him and play on his lap, letting your son X play in the Oval Office with him, letting him walk to the helicopter with him. That is a lie, and you know it. You haven't seen the Epstein list. You don't know anything about it. You just said some bullshit. You crossed the line when you said that. Because if he had been on it and you knew this whole time, that means that you kept that lie. You're a sick individual. Trump needs to go on X and smash you into oblivion.
I liked his passion in this video. I shared his link in the chat. I think it's important that we give all of these people the credit for their passion and that they're willing to stand up and say what they believe. I wish we had more people that would do that. And I agreed with him. The reason I liked this video right off the bat was the fact that he said, if you really believed that his name was on the Epstein file the way you're trying to get us to see it, right? Then why in the hell would you let your son play with him all this time and stuff? See, that to me is, and it was a lot of times he was alone with his son. So I'm just saying, I'm telling you right now, if it was one of my kids and I suspected someone, a teacher, I don't care, whoever it is, there's no freaking way I would ever let them be alone or even be around them. I would find excuses not to go anywhere near that person because I would suspect that there's something not right with them. So the fact that he would say that or use that and put it out publicly, knowing how many millions of people he has following him, to me was a low blow. That was really low, childish, like something a teenage boy would do. And then I've made a couple comments in some spaces about it saying there was some videos that came out, I guess last summer, maybe earlier than last summer, but it was Elon and he was sitting at different fundraisers and stuff at nice tables with some of Trump's family, I guess. And he had a bunch of forks balanced on a cup. Or I thought I've talked about this before. And he was talking about how they were balancing because he's got Asperger's. So they do things differently. They look at life differently than we do. But that also shows they can have a bad temper. That's one of the things that they could have. Now, I'm not saying they all have it, but he just seemed like, to me, the whole thing just seemed like a spoiled brat that didn't get what he wanted, whichever one it really was. And each time that he put something out there and he didn't get the response that he wanted. And I think not just the fact that he didn't get anything from Trump, was the fact that most of the people said, fuck you, Elon, you're full of shit. Nobody believes you. And except for Eon Chung and some other dumbasses that aren't even from our country. They're not even American. And I responded to him. Nothing. Of course, he's not going to respond to me because I'm a nobody. But I responded and said, I told him to shut his mouth. You can't talk about my president that way because you're not even an American citizen. That's what I said to him. So I was like really pissed off because every person, that is an American citizen has the right to say they don't agree with the president or whether they think he's wrong, things like that. Just like I've done many times about Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, all the other people. We have the right to do that because we are American citizens. We have freedom of speech, okay? Just because you're from India or Ratatouille or whatever, wherever you come from, doesn't give you the right to bash our president and expect nobody to do anything. So F you, I don't give a shit. Every American to say whatever they think they have to say, except for threatening people's lives. I don't agree with that. But I'm not going to bash you because you don't agree with what I'm saying about our president, but we're both Americans and we should have civil discourse, right? And so I encourage people to make videos, make a post on Facebook or whatever it is that app that you're on, but share information with people and listen to other people, read people's comments and see what happens. But do you have anything you want to add, guys?
I'm going to disagree with you. I just think this is a show.
Wait, so you didn't agree with what the guy said about the whole thing about him being a piece of shit at the beginning?
I disagree with that. I mean, this is a show. It's fabricated.
Yeah.
So
okay. So we have these shows. These are recorded and they're up. So later on, when any of these things come true or is proven factual that it was a show. Okay, let me tell you something about that. I'm not going to say anyone's name, but I've been in a couple spaces, and I like to go to spaces in the morning when I'm working on art and stuff. And a couple people were in there talking about different shows that we're seeing going on, unfolding, movies, or whatever you want to call it, to get certain responses from people, like it's set up. I just don't believe that almost everything in life is faked. That it's all fake. I worked in the industry, and I'm telling you right now, most of life is not a movie. Okay, it just happens. That's just the way life freaking works. And he was going on about. I got an argument and ended up leaving because I couldn't stay in a space with a person in there that was allowed to be in there and stayed in there that was saying that Butler was staged. And I got mad and I said, Corey Commodore's family doesn't believe that. And all the other people that were shot don't believe that it was a fake thing and that Trump turned his head because a special sniper was there to make sure he didn't die and all this shit. Who's going to stand there and let someone shoot at their head? I mean, come on. See, so what I'm saying is there's going to be wild things that go on both sides. And I'm like, there's no way Trump that I know would ever do something that stupid and let people die because, well, they didn't really die. Just like what's her name didn't die, Ashley Babbitt and blah, blah. This is the argument that he was giving me. And I was like, well, I think you're stupid and you're full of shit.
But here again, I can plead ignorance on this thing because I've been really busy with life. Mm-hmm. Has anything been said publicly or is this just tweets and shit?
Oh, you mean what I'm talking about?
This whole Elon thing bullshit. Is it just tweets? Is it or an X posts or is it actual like statements, videos or whatever?
I haven't seen any videos yet. I've only seen.
That's why I'm saying it again. It's.
But that doesn't mean it hasn't. I'm just saying I've been went to the gym, had to go shopping, trying to catch up for a whole week of me laying in bed. So I missed a lot.
Yeah. We're all out of the loop. But again, it feels not. Again, it's not. How do you say it? Staged is not one thing. It's performative. It's to call out the bullshit because again, the media, in my opinion, wants chaos. So if Elon and Trump are too smart to have the media take this and run with it. It's being done for a reason. I bet you anything. It's being done for a reason. That's all I'm saying. Because again, it's like, we talk about, we're here on this shit show. You talk about the kids that are trafficked. We've talked about offline about women who are actually, stalked and the children and the women and the people who are sick, East Palestine, Maui. There are many more things we should be talking about. This is the distraction, and this is what the media wants to go through. So the media is now being even more inauthentic, more sensationalized, more propagandized, and it's all the time. So it's a distraction. But I get where you're coming from, and that's why
I wanted to do these 4 different videos from different perspectives to kind of get people to think about it and say, yeah, the more I hear this, the more it sounds like bullshit. And if they feel that way, guess what? They're not going to share it and they're not going to talk about it anymore. They're going to move on to the next thing that pops up on the news. Yeah. So that's the one reason why I love doing this show. I really do, because a lot of people I talk to later that watch it, later on, because they can't watch it on Friday night, they tell me that there was stuff that we watched that they'd never seen, and that it really made them think about something, or how they changed their point of view on it. So, I'm happy, even if it's only one person that I feel like we've informed. I think it's great. So,
but here's where it comes down to it. One thing, there's one phrase, and I'm going to botch the fuck out of it. I'm here. What is it? I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Yeah.
It's essentially the attitude, because I am done with the bullshit. I really am. When I saw this going on, and again, like literally, I'm in the freaking emergency room, and I just want to see what's going on. I went, okay, this is not that important. I laugh, and then I'm more, are you okay? Are you going to die? Literally, are you going to die? That's more important. Someone you love or care about versus this bullshit, this shit show. You can't let that infect you anymore. It's just done. So
well, the thing is, the people that are able to get the information, listen to it, and mull it over, or look into it or whatever, and compare it with other information. Those are the people that actually are trying to get to the truth. Okay, they're trying to find true facts. The ones who just see something and then click on it and share it, they don't even really read it. They just see the headline. Those are the people that they're the clickbait people. They're the ones that fall for the clickbait every time. Because a few times, one of my sisters has sent me something and said, "What do you think about that?" And I said, "Well, it said this, but when I read it, it had nothing to do with what it was said on the thing." "What do you mean?" I said, "I read the whole thing. I didn't find anything in there." "Oh," and so because they didn't read it, they just shared it, thinking it was about whatever the topic was. So that's another sad truth, is that people share stuff without even knowing what they're sharing. And that's what I try to get people to not do. Please watch what you're sharing and only share it if you believe it needs to be shared. I mean, if you don't do it because somebody made you or feel like you had to, if you're interested and you think it's informative, then you should share it, because then it might bring up a good discussion later on, But this next thing is pretty good. The same guy that talked about the other suing in the court and stuff like that, now this is him talking about this other issue that happened with not this one, I guess the one coming up, but this guy, this is pretty good too. It's about Trump and Elon, the whole mess with that too, but it's another perspective. And I've never seen this guy come across my timeline before. This was the first time I've seen this gentleman, but I'll share the link.
Whoever's writing the script for the saga that we're watching unfold right now, mid-scene between Donald Trump and Elon Musk, is brilliant, because this is a masterstroke. I couldn't have thought of a better possible way to draw people out, to get them to demand the release of the Epstein files than Elon Musk make this statement right here. And it's brilliant because it worked. Because now every prominent Democrat, media personality, celebrity, influencer, content creator, they're all now demanding the release of the Epstein files. Because here's the interesting part. While people are saying that Elon Musk had better have receipts to back this up or else he's going to be sued, they must have forgotten that we already know that's true. In fact, I did no less than 10, maybe 12 videos on this very topic last summer during the campaign, because we already have access to some of the Epstein files. We've already seen the court transcripts of the cases of the accusers against Jeffrey Epstein, where Donald Trump's name is mentioned multiple times. And in each one of those, the accusers say that Donald Trump had no role in anything that Jeffrey Epstein was doing. We already have the flight logs that showed that Donald Trump took 7 flights back in the early 90s on Epstein's plane. All of those flights were inside the continental United States, most of them between New Jersey, New York, and Florida. We already know that. That's available to everybody. Are we watching a script play out in preparation for the release of the real files? And now that every Democrat and media personality and celebrity and content creator and influencer on the left is demanding those files be released? Did we just create the stage and the environment for the release of the Epstein files and the downfall of the very people who are now demanding they be released? Because if you think that there's anything in those files that is incriminating towards Donald Trump besides what we already know, you must not understand who had control of those files until Kash Patel got into office. Merrick Garland, James Comey, Chris Wray, all of them. They knew what was in those files. If there was anything damaging about Donald Trump in those files, we would have known about it already. So by throwing fodder out to a group of people who have the collective brain power of an amoeba, did they just set the stage for the actual release of the Epstein files? Absolutely brilliant. How much you want to bet we start to see the Epstein files roll out in the next couple weeks?
Well, I don't know. We'll see.
Probably going to happen.
Well, the thing is what's interesting is that's why I said I wanted to show you these 4 things, because they're all different. You see what I mean? It's different perspectives about what they believe. Because this guy believes something I don't think that's what
I didn't understand.
they believe that.
Okay.
But
what's the next one? What's the next video?
Okay, let me get it real quick. Hold on. But that's why I wanted to share that. So here's
I can
come on, woman, hurry up.
Being released.
Well, here's the last one about this whole incident, but this is a different perspective too.
Elon Musk is not wrong. Donald Trump is not wrong. They're coming at this from two different angles, though. Elon Musk is not a politician. He doesn't know the inner workings of Washington, D.C. God bless him. God bless him, right? He comes from the world of being a genius business guy. In his world, maybe Congress actually wants to do a good job. Maybe Congress actually wants to cut the IRS. Maybe Congress actually wants to get rid of USAID. Maybe they actually love America. Donald Trump and this big, beautiful bill, it's not a bad bill. Yeah, there's a lot of government pork in it, absolutely. But you're dealing with a Congress, they don't give a shit. Congress is filled with corrupt politicians who have been there in most cases for way too long. They're not MAGA. Congress isn't MAGA. Just because your congressmen say, I support Donald Trump, just because they ran on the Trump agenda, just because you get an email asking you to chip in $25 so that they can go to DC and back up Trump, let it be known. They don't give a fuck about America First or Donald Trump. They care about lining their own pathetic pockets, with the exception of about 20, and I'm being generous. Mm-hmm. So Elon Musk saying the bill sucks, cut the bill. Basically, every bill that can actually pass the current Congress is going to suck. Here's the problem. We don't pass this bill, we don't get the tax cuts that we need to keep. The taxes go up in the sky. Now, to Elon Musk, 2% extra tax doesn't make a big difference. Elon isn't going hungry because of 2%. Elon isn't ever going hungry. But the American people, if we don't pass this bill, we might go hungry. Like, we're not doing well. Because we suffered through 4 years of Joe Biden's economy, and the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act was written in such a way that it expired. Because that's all these people do. Congress is now saying, we can't pass the Doge cuts until we win re-election. Because all these people know how to do is survive in their parasitic congressional jobs, where all they do is run, do one or two things, and then do nothing. So Elon's not wrong. I don't disagree with Elon Musk. But you can't let the good be the enemy of the perfect. And we're not getting perfect under this current Congress. So the one big beautiful bill, it has to pass. It has to pass. Should it be smaller? Yeah. Should it be a lot smaller? Yeah. Should it be single subject? Absolutely. We were supposed to get 18 separate budgets, remember? We weren't supposed to get omnibus. Where the fuck is Speaker Johnson on that? Where is the blame on Speaker Johnson? Because Speaker Johnson, who I met Speaker Johnson. I remember he told me he was Sicilian. I said, that's a Sicilian? I never seen such a Sicilian be a pussy. But whatever. You cannot get great things passed when you're dealing with people who have the testicles that are the size of chickpeas. Speaker Johnson, his testicles, they're in somebody's purse somewhere. I don't know where. But somebody needs to go find that person, reattach them to Mike, if Mike ever had them. President Trump is a realist. The one big beautiful bill is as good as it's going to get for right now. It's not a bad bill. Elon Musk, I love the man, but we can't let the perfect be the enemy of the good.
See, I thought he had a very good perspective, a totally different bird's eye view of what we all just witnessed over the last few days. And I thought it was a good perspective. So do you have anything you want to say, Bruce, about his perspective?
I really, like, my perspective is my perspective, but I actually think that, like, for the most part, I think most people are seeing that there's something else big at play going on. You know, yeah, there's a lot of butthurt over on Twitter right now. Oh my God, all of Elon's followers just unfollowed me. Meh. I wouldn't be worried about that. That's just not something I'm not concerned about.
I'm not one of those people that looks and sees if how many unfollows I had, shit like that. But people dwell on it. It's all about, oh my God, I lost 7,000 people overnight. You know. Oh well, it must be nice to make money.
I'll look at numbers like from year to year, from 6 months to 6 months, and I'll kind of make decisions there. kind of like what I did with my channel, but I'm not really somebody that makes decisions quickly. I have to let shit play out.
Me too. Okay, well, here's the next thing I thought was pretty interesting. I thought it was funny, but very smart the way that they did this. So this is Inflation Explained. And since it had to do with the tax bill and all this different stuff, I thought this would be a good little class for everyone. So here we go.
If monkeys have one banana, banana rare, banana valuable. But if monkeys grow more bananas, banana become common, banana not as valuable. Demand pull inflation. If monkeys demand more banana, but banana farmer makes same amount, banana price go up because banana more rare. Cost push inflation. If banana demand is the same, but banana farmer have less banana to sell, banana price go up because banana become more rare. Production cost inflation. Monkey buys banana. Monkey eat banana. Life is good. Monkey tell monkey friends about banana store. Monkeys buy all the bananas. Banana farmer has to plant more banana tree, but banana seed become more expensive. So, banana farmer raise price of banana to cover costs. Monetary inflation. If banana demand is the same and banana supply is the same, but monkeys have more leaves than usual to buy banana, banana price go up because now leaves are not worth as much as before. Hyperinflation. Price of banana goes up, so monkey government decides to create more leaves so monkeys can afford banana. So monkeys buy more banana, but banana price goes up to keep up with banana demand. So monkey government creates more leaves, but price of banana goes up to keep up with more demand. So monkey government creates more leaves. Price of banana goes up. So monkey government creates more leaves. This is getting ridiculous. Eventually, monkey government burns all the leaves and starts making sticks its new currency. Inflation is not necessarily bad for monkey. If monkey's amount of leaves goes up at the same rate as price of banana, monkey happy. If monkey's amount of leaves goes up but banana price stays the same, monkey rich as fuck. If monkey's leaves stay the same but banana price go up, monkey poor, monkey sad. Monkey is all of us. To avoid inflation, monkey should invest banana, as this will grow more banana with time. Sometimes inflation can get really bananas.
I thought that was really good. Very, very smart for this young person to, or people, the group of people to make that. So I shared that in the chat. Did that make sense to you guys?
It makes sense. I just like Bambi versus Godzilla better.
I just thought it was great. I just thought it was so good. I said, if anyone could sit and listen to that, they kind of understand why things go up in value. I mean, and us manipulating the price just because we want more money, it hurts everybody overall. So I just thought it was really a smart, cute little way for them to do this. But here we go. Here's one more little thing before we get into start getting the meaty part. So here we go. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but I thought it was good.
I'm Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, and today I'm announcing that TSA is ending the Quiet Skies program, which involved having a federal agent follow U.S. citizens as they traveled by air. It was created by Obama in 2012 to supposedly track dangerous individuals, but instead it was weaponized against political enemies such as Tulsi Gabbard. And since its existence, it has failed to stop a single terrorist attack, while it costs U.S. taxpayers roughly about $200 million a year. Now, the Department of Homeland Security and TSA have uncovered documents, correspondence, and timelines that highlight the inconsistency of the application of Quiet Skies. And this program, under the guise of national security, has targeted political opponents and benefited political allies of the Biden administration. In addition to conducting our own internal investigation, I'm calling for a full and thorough congressional investigation to uncover further corruption that's in this program. So TSA is going to continue performing important vetting functions to stop security threats and to ensure the safety of the American traveler. The Trump administration will return TSA to its true mission of being laser focused on the safety and the security of traveling public. This includes restoring the integrity, the privacy, and the equal application of the law for all Americans.
I thought that was very, very good because I didn't know anything about it. Did you guys hear about that?
I've been hearing about it for a little while.
Oh, you had? I hadn't heard
Yeah.
anything about it, and I'm going to be taking a trip because I told you guys I'm going to be taking a trip to see my daughter, and I'm going to fly and all that stuff. And I forgot about the supposedly the armed guards or whatever that are sitting in all the planes, and now they're finding out they weren't even in there to look for terrorists; they're in there to follow us.
But Janet, don't you remember they would send a TSA guy to sit 4 rows behind you and have a gun on this person? You remember that? I remember that.
Yeah, I remember. But the thing is, I thought it was still waiting to see, whether we were going to have a terrorist attack or something like that. But I was wrong. Okay, now this is one of the juicy stories that I thought was big, and it just happened a couple days ago, and I thought maybe this might be one of the reasons why they're talking about this stupid shit when something this important is going on right here in our country. So I don't know if you guys have seen this. Did the Tennessee Valley Authority show up with guns and bulletproof vests to force innocent residents of Cheatham County, Tennessee, to let them trespass on their land? You will not believe this story. Watch till the end. Please report this. So I'm reposting it and stuff. This is an un-American to the core. So I thought this is real important. And I got some friends that are from Tennessee and stuff. So I wanted to make sure everybody got to see this.
Hey folks, your buddy John Rich here again. I've got another update about the ongoing battle with the TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority, in Cheatham County, Tennessee, which is the home of my dad, my brother, lots of my friends. It's where I moved to from the state of Texas when we moved back to Tennessee when I was still in high school. So I consider this county to be home. And so a little recap, if you hadn't seen the first video with the Wade family, I suggest you go look that one up as well. But basically the TVA has decided that they want to build a 900 megawatt methane gas plant right in the middle of Cheatham County, Tennessee, right in the middle of neighborhoods, farmland, right on top of the main water source for Pleasant View, Tennessee and Ashland City, Tennessee, within 5 miles of 5 different schools. They're wanting to build this thing. And some of the details I have learned recently, even since the first video, it's hard to shock me, but wait until you hear what has happened. Shocking is an understatement. It ain't even America, what you're about to hear about. So who I've got sitting here with me in her front yard, and I appreciate you letting me come over today. This is Nanette. So Nanette is a longtime Cheatham County resident and has firsthand knowledge of something that when I heard the story, Nanette, I thought that's got to be an exaggeration. But as we've been speaking for the last hour in her living room, unfortunately, it's not an exaggeration. So basically, the story goes that the TVA showed up to start surveying property, doing destructive testing on property on people's land who did not want them there, correct?
Exactly.
Okay, so I want you to tell everybody out there watching, explain to me what it looked like and what the TVA looked like when they showed up on these properties. Go ahead.
Well, some of us showed up in solidarity with our neighbors, and as we were waiting, we watched the TVA employees and 2 police officers park all of their vehicles down the road, about 12 vehicles, and they came marching through the property up to our neighbor and to tell her that they were going to start digging and surveying, and she was not happy with that. But the thing that struck me as I watched this unfold, and these employees were marching toward us with police officers.
So wait,
Yeah.
are you saying TVA came with the local police?
No, they came with the TVA police.
So there's such a thing as TVA police?
Oh, yes.
So the TVA has their own police force?
They have their own police force. Yeah.
Okay, so when you say police, do you mean, were they armed? I mean, what?
Yes, they were armed. They had their full gear on,
So like bulletproof vests?
They looked like they had bulletproof vests, yeah.
So they were geared up almost like a SWAT team.
Exactly.
Did you know that the TVA had that? I mean, I heard this and I thought that cannot be true. The TVA has, they're showing up with guns, bulletproof vests, a minimum of 12 vehicles all at once, right?
Yes.
Coming on the property. Did you guys know that? Hey, TVA, why is that? One of many questions to come. All right, Nanette, let's continue. So tell me about Miss Nicholson. Who is Miss Nicholson and what was going on in her yard and with her that day?
Well, when they talked to the first neighbors, they said they had permission from Mr. Nicholson to be on the property, but Mr. Nicholson has been deceased for quite a long time.
How long has he been deceased, would you say?
I have no idea, but it's probably a decade.
Close to a decade. Yeah. So the TVA came on the property and said, we have permission to be here because Mr. Nicholson said we could be here, but Mr. Nicholson's been dead for a decade or more. But his wife is still alive, correct?
Yes.
And now what is her condition?
Oh, she has a bit of dementia. So we saw her from a distance and come out and look at her property, and she was afraid actually because there were so many vehicles in her yard and she didn't know why. And
a bunch of men with guns walking around.
And she saw what was going on down the road. And so after we were done with watching what the police officer said to our neighbor, we went down there to make sure she was okay, and she had no clue what was going on, and we told her, and she was not happy.
What did she say when you told her why they were there?
She said, after she paused for a moment, you could see her thinking, and she said, you think you own something, but you own nothing. You don't own nothing.
You think you own something, but you don't own nothing.
Yeah, it just made me feel like I didn't live in America that day. It was very hard to watch.
How long do you think she or her family members have owned that property?
Oh, a very long time. That's
possibly 100 years or more?
Possible. That's an old family here.
Multi-generational land.
Right.
So we got a real problem here. TVA is going to be sending out one of their guys to come visit me at my house in Nashville here in a few days. Now, I don't know what he wants to visit with me about, but I'm looking forward to speaking with him. Here's the thing, guys. In the United States of America, we don't send in armed officers onto people's property under a lie saying they had permission from a man who's been dead 10 years so they can come in and bully and shove people around in Cheatham County, Tennessee. You got it? TVA, I know you didn't want anybody to know about this. They're all going to know about it now. My hope is that at some point, they just decide to find somewhere else to do this. And by the way, there are other places to do this. That's the crazy thing about it. There are other places that this can be done. So it has been done where coal plants that have been shut down have been successfully retrofitted into, guess what? Methane plants, just like the one they want to tear this place up with. It's already being done. And guess what? We've got deactivated neutral coal plants sitting all around Middle Tennessee. We've got one in Humphreys County right now that State Senator Roberts said we would welcome the TVA back in here with open arms to retrofit our Biden killed coal plant. Biden killed it and retrofit it for methane. Oh, by the way, and hire back the thousands of people that lost their jobs when they shut this thing down. He said they could do it right here in my county, in Humphreys County, and never have to touch a blade of grass in Cheatham County. So there are options sitting everywhere, but TVA is belligerently saying, no, we're going to tear your county up. We're going to displace you. We're going to put this methane plant right in between 5 school districts. We're going to come in and put it right on top of your water supply, and there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. Oh, by the way, check out all the guys with the guns and bulletproof vests if you don't believe me. That sounds like communist Chinese tactics to me. That does not sound like my country. That does not sound like America, and it is not why we voted for Donald Trump and to put people into office to keep the federal government, which that's what this is. TVA is the only federally owned power company in the United States. Started in 1933, by the way, by FDR, arguably the most socialist president we ever had. That is not what America looks like. And this is just the beginning of this series. Please forward this video. Feel free to rip this video, stick it on your own platforms, run this everywhere. This fight is just beginning. I want you to hang tight and watch the end of this video. Nanette here shot video of the actual day when the TVA trucks and the guys with the guns rolled in. And yes, Miss Nicholson is actually making her statement that Nanette told you about. It's gonna blow your mind that this is actually real in America today. God bless you guys. Help me get the message out. Take care. Now stay tuned.
Are they allowed to film while folks are out here? I believe that's allowed.
For the record, I don't want you here. Just saying that. I want everybody to know I don't want you here. This project hasn't been approved. There's no need for all this.
Well,
you guys are going around the due
you have to say
process.
needs to be directed through your attorney. Anything outside of what a cordial us telling you what we are doing needs to be directed through your attorney, through our Office of General Counsel.
They're talking about putting those up.
Oh, I know what they are up here.
Yes.
You think you own something, you don't own nothing. I'm the only child. And I forget how many acres I got. I go to Spring Creek.
Do you have somebody who takes care of it for you?
Farms it.
Okay.
Has the tobacco and things like that.
Because obviously they've cleaned up and made themselves at home in your backyard.
Good luck with that.
Well, yeah, it's really sad that this is still happening in our country, and it makes me realize that why so many people from so many states didn't want Trump. Didn't want Trump to win. So to have people be able to come and just confiscate your land, I didn't even know that was still possible.
Yep.
Especially when there's other places to be able to use it. Like you said, he already had a mayor that said, hey, I'd love for him to come and refit this plant and give these people back their jobs because Biden closed down our coal plant. So these people don't have jobs. We could love to have you come and refit this whole coal plant and make it into this methane plant. So it's just sad that we have American citizens that pay taxes and have taken care of their property, done all these things, and now they're being told, oh, well, fuck you. And they're going to probably give them 2 cents for every dollar of what the land is worth if they're forced out. And that's bullshit. So this is something to me that should be on Trump's desk, period. I think this is ridiculous and sad.
Completely agree.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to share it, and any other ones that come up, I'm going to try to share. But I put it in the shit show chat. It's right here. Please share this with everyone that you can think of. Get them to watch it. I know it may not be a state that you live in, but after what happened in North Carolina and made all those people leave their land and everything, supposedly, was it, I think it was Harris's husband was the lawyer involved in the company that was trying to buy the land. So, I just think it's sickening that these people don't give a shit about you and me. They do insider trading. They do whatever the hell they want. They just walk over us like we're just a piece of shit. Okay. And until we start telling them to, F off and fight back, I don't see how we're ever going to win. So I got a couple more things that I wanted to share, and then we'll start working on all the little little duties that Bruce has lined up. So here we go. This
Gotta
is
talk about
one of the
things
ones
like
that yeah, I already went and saw him over there. Okay, this one I thought was pretty interesting. Did you guys see this Prozac bombshell?
No.
Okay, well here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and play this real quick.
And the report that I can report back on all of this is that there are elements of the U.S. intelligence community that absolutely knew about this Operation Spiderweb and hid it from the President of the United States and the White House upper echelons of the national security leadership. And particularly, there are a lot of questions surrounding, as you've mentioned, Senator Lindsey Graham, but also former CIA Director Mike Pompeo, who is currently right now in Odessa, Ukraine. And there's a lot of questions about who actually is the head of the CIA, because Mike Pompeo is over there. Mike Pompeo has said that we need to end the peace talks. Mike Pompeo has said that the war should continue. And they're now seeing elements of the CIA apparatus and other national security apparatuses within the current Trump administration, within the current government of the United States, that are loyal now to Brennan. They are loyal to Clapper. They were those guys that were put up and promoted during the Biden administration. So they got started, remember, under Obama. They were never fired. Then under Biden, they were put into positions of power. Steve, they are still in those positions of power, and they have gone rogue.
So you hadn't heard about that? Because I was told that basically what he was just talking about was the people that attacked, with drones in Russia.
Mm-hmm.
We helped them.
Yeah, of course. Well, duh.
Of course we did.
They caught, but not this administration. These are people that were already embedded, and they're catching these people. But that Trump's people arrested somebody from some Nader's office, one of his underlings or whatever, and that they supposedly had a bunch of drones and other technology or whatever they used for drones for showing how to fly them and tracking them and all that kind of stuff. So I'm telling you, the corruption is so bad. I don't know how we're ever going to get caught up with some of this shit.
Well, that's what I think. I think basically that's what I've been actually. It's kind of funny that you said that right now, that statement, because I've been thinking about this for all weekend long because of everything I saw. Because I'm sitting, like I said, I'm sitting in the hospital, and I've been through this. Well, not through so much, but this 3 months. It's been weird, and I'm going, this is ridiculous. This is a joke. I can't. I turn on the news now. Like I remember watching NBC News, or CBS. Walter Cronkite. I watch Walter Cronkite for Christ's sakes. Okay. Now it's all proven that's all bullshit. I'm done. It's all lies. So it's like, I'm done. So what I'm going to plan on doing is I'm going to call it out. I'm going to pull a Trump. He's meaning that I don't want any money. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to basically say you're all bullshit. This is what you're doing, because it's so simple. We have to have an amendment. Number one, I'm going to start drafting it and say I'm done with this bullshit. We have to have the bills where it's basically one at a time. States do it. 41 states do it, but not that they don't. A single subject law. It's like it's how it should be. We want to vote on this thing. We're here to about this one item, and then do you agree? Senate, do you agree? It's done. Next, but they're just shoveling shit into shit, and again, and this is the whole thing. This was done. The TVA was created because the motherfuckers did the whole thing with the Federal Reserve, and they caused the depression. They made the depression here worse. FDR is a piece of shit that did that. He created all this bureaucracy, and that's what I'm saying. The government bureaucracy is the most foul thing on earth. What does the mafia say? they said something like mafioso would say that you think that we're bad, you should see the government. You know,
Ronald Reagan said that, I thought too, didn't he? He made a
well,
joke.
Reagan basically said that the 9 scariest words you want to ever hear is, I'm here from the government and here to help.
Yeah, I know. Wow, we don't want to hear that.
Yeah, you don't want it's bullshit. And again, I said it as much. The government is arsonist and fireman. They're both. And in every aspect. So I'm sitting there in the hospital again. I'm going to bring it up. And the TV's on. And every damn commercial is about, ask your doctor about blah, blah, blah. No. Why don't you go out, touch some grass, cook your own freaking food, plant your own thing, start doing shit for yourself and your family.
Mm-hmm.
And and then of course I'm there in the hospital, so I began to start to do some torture to myself. This is a segue, really.
Yeah.
I never finished watching what's it called again? Multiverse of Madness. I stopped it after I went through it. I tortured myself. Damn, the dialogue's getting dumb. Everything's getting dumb. It's dumbed down. Everything is dumbed down. Everything is stupid now. It's 5 years. The whole world went to idiocracy. I'm just done. It's just so. I really am.
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of these old movies that said this, that, and the other was going to happen. It's like, wow, it's really, we are really getting stupid. There's no common sense. Common sense is a superpower now.
Yeah. Or just say, or how would you say it? People nowadays, not people. Well, the majority of people don't want to be offended anymore.
Yeah, they just want to all be loved equally.
And you can't. And I'm sick and tired of it. Just again,
be miserable and like it.
But I don't know if I have to do something about. I'm doing something about it. I'm doing so many things in my running through my head now, because it's like, because again, the number one thing I'm doing is healing. I'm not. I myself, am I not doing well? No, but I'm getting older. It's a very weird thing's happening now. I feel the age coming. I embrace it, but I want it to be the best quality. So I am very concerned because I'm very weak. And as you know, the last few times of the show, I've been very, very weak. So I got more things important to do than this all crap. But again, yeah, I'm just done with all this crap. I have to, it's time is now. When you have this because it's going back to your story, the TVA, when you have when you say TVA, what Tennessee Valley Authority, what are they doing? Tennessee?
Yeah.
Tennessee?
Yeah, it was weird. Wasn't it?
I remember. Fuck.
Yeah.
Because again, know your history. The TVA was created by the big the New Deal, whatever bullshit, and that's where this all comes from. So government give the government anything, Patriot Act, and they will abuse it.
See, so think about it. Biden signs executive orders on day one, closes down the pipeline coming from Canada. He shuts down all these coal plants. All these people lose their job, and nobody's bitching and moaning about those people. All they're bitching now is that they're selling government buildings, trying to get rid of this wasteful spending and clean it up and reorganize it and make it more efficient. But the thing is that we had all that going on and no one gave a shit. But golly, it sure opened up for that company that's owned by the federal government to be able to just come in and take whatever they want to make money, because they closed down everything else. They don't have coal, they don't have this, they don't have that, because they all got shut down with a swipe of a pen. So it just seems very suspicious, with all this other stuff going on. Because see, this was happening. That video was from the, I think, 4th. Was it the 4th? It was like the last day of May or the first day of June. So this was just a couple days ago when this happened. So, but it really upset some of these people. And this one guy that does stuff online, when he heard about it, he goes, I got to go out there and get this on video. So I'm thankful that some of the people thought it was smart enough to use your phone and do it. Why not? Use your cell phone whenever you can to prove your side of a story. Because if they're wearing a camera on their chest or whatever, and how intimidating for a little old lady that's the last left on her family, basically, that's owned that property for 100 years, and they're tramping all over it because they're thinking about it. Their mouths are watering, thinking how much money they're going to make off this land, and she's going to get pennies on the dollar for it.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is that sadly, there is a what do you call it again? Supreme Court. There's a Supreme Court ruling that agrees with what they do. If you remember the New London, Connecticut case.
Yeah, it sounds like we need another Supreme Court ruling.
Well, we need to basically have something that's going to stop this insanity to happen. Because again, with that case, they decided to kick people out because the government would get more tax revenue that they basically changed the houses. So they were only interested in taxing more, and that they didn't care. They just wanted that land to basically to earn more money and the whole bullshit. The situation is it became nothing. They stopped. They couldn't use it because it was locked in all bullshit. So no one's using it. So it's a waste of fucking money or process. And but that set a precedent that the whole eminent domain, taking control of people's property, became codified even recently. And now this proves that this has to change. And again,
you also had, what was it, last week? You had the Katie Hobbs from Arizona vetoing that bill when they were trying to stop the Chinese party from buying
property.
Property in Arizona. She basically said "fuck you" to her own people. Okay. And it's shocking. There is so much corruption. I mean, it's obvious, and they don't even hide it anymore. They don't have to. They have it all rigged. They own everything, and they can do whatever the hell they want. They could care less.
And that's where, when people, how'd you say it? When you forget the conspiracy theories, like, Hillary does this or whatever, Clinton, death count stuff, but this is just this. The idea that there are people out there that in the TVA right now saying that we can do anything, and they don't, but they say a different way. We're doing what is best for America, and that is dangerous. Mm-hmm. They are believers in government, in pure government, in rule. And that's bad.
And the sad truth is, remember those people that took that Kool-Aid and laid down to
Jim Jones,
No, the ones that drank the Kool-Aid and laid down on their bunk beds and to ride the comet.
Heaven's Gate. Yeah.
Okay. Those people believe they were doing something for the right reason. Okay. So just because you have a religious group or a federal group or another group of people that want to do this, that, or the other, doesn't always mean they have their own best interests at heart.
Okay? They don't, because you ask these people why they're protesting. They don't know what they're protesting.
Because they're not in their right mind. But unless there's somebody somewhere that can do some type of oversight to make sure each of these kinds of cases, before they're brought to fruition, like this one in Tennessee, somebody comes out and says, why in the hell you want to take all these people's land when you have 4 places you could put this plant? Just from what they've already said, and this is just local people saying, hey, we got
because
this,
they do an assessment of the property, and they know that that's where the gold is, or the liquid gold or the methane, whatever the bullshit is, and then that's
pipe it to the plant.
Yeah, but again, they'll start. It's a kabuki show. Remember, they will go there, and then the lawyers for the United States will say, this land is in a United States best interest, and what we have to do here is our topology survey that says that this is what has to be done, and if this happens, we don't want anybody to die. So that's why we're doing this. It's out of we're doing this for your protection. That's what's going to come out, and it's the bullshit line, because again, they will always say this to you. It's for your protection. Put a seatbelt on. Do this bullshit here. Stand in line 6 feet apart. All this bullshit.
But it's never any of their property. See, that's another thing.
Or
so interesting.
as we know, Gavin Newsom in French Laundry. This again, I'm just throwing out there. But again, if that motherfucker is, well, you know what? Put him up for 2028. It's this. If they actually do this, they are stupider than they are really stupid.
Well, we'll see. Remember, that was one of the people I said.
Well, what do you think now? Again, well, 2026 right now seems that it could be bad because these motherfuckers, the GOP is like, don't give a damn, goddamn idiots.
They're not doing anything. The people that Trump can't do it all by executive order. And that's what I'm trying to tell people. If nobody else gets off their ass, nobody's arrested, and you don't see other things happening, then we're going to lose it. We're going to lose seats. And we're already only one seat ahead now.
Well, don't say we are going to lose anything. I'll say it this way. If they fuck it up, they fuck it up. I don't care. I want it to be burned down because of this bullshit. It's too corrupt. They're not taking it seriously. They're not being serious at all. Single issue. There is no way that they should be doing this. We've had CR after CR after CR, continuing notice ominous bills over and over again, exploding budgets. Everyone's putting their own shit in there. It is ridiculous, and it's not just Congress. It's Hollywood. It's big. It's businesses. It's doing this, and all we're doing here. It's like that movie WALL-E. We're here sitting watching TV, and that's it. We're just paying attention. Just consume. Nothing. We got to stop consuming.
Yeah, we got to start fighting
all the bullshit you see, all the bullshit you hear, all the bullshit you consume in your mouth. Done. It's over. I'm done with this shit. And that's why I'm saying, and Emperor, I just saw you. That's why, like I said, my mission now is to basically say, here's the US code. Let's fix the fucker. And if you don't want to do it, you know what I want? I want nothing. I want to be that philosopher that walked around naked. I don't give a fuck anymore. I really don't. I'm done with this shit.
Yeah.
I'm fed up.
You want to be a statue out in the middle
ultimately
of a
fed
park.
up with this bullshit. And this is done because again, we have so much potential now, but we're not utilizing it because they know they're scared. They want to try and again, they're going to try and wrangle in AI, and they cannot put the genie in the bottle. It's more not volatile.
Did you see the
volatile for their asses?
Did you see the bill?
I swear. And think about it. Advanced supercomputer is like we'll look at this like I said, Asimov wrote about it. They're not going to put up with this shit. They're going to go, hey, why are you doing this? This is unethical. And did
you see the
I
bill?
Know, I just think that the good people out there need to wake up. And I guess I got to take the lead. If me, a disabled man, is going to do it, then fuck it, I'm going to do it. I'm done. I'm sorry.
Have you read it? Have you read it? The bill is what he was asking you. The AI bill.
I'm looking it up right now. I want the fucking information, that way I can tell you guys they're setting aside like $500 million is being set aside for AI in the big beautiful bill. And basically once the AI gets that money, it'll be illegal for you to criticize the AI, the expenditure of money for AI, or anything, because these people are looking at God from the machine. That's what they're looking at. That's what they're wanting. They whoever wrote this shit bill is garbage.
Well, I can tell you right now, Johnson seems to be glowing. Every single interview I've seen him do about this bill, and the fact that I feel he feels he's got the votes he needs. he's like he's floating on air, walking around just like, woo, look at this. This is great. You know, Ruben dropped. But I don't have any of those things that I've seen. I just had 2 other little videos that I was going to play, but I can play whatever one you want. I mean, once you
it's fine. So the essentially the big beautiful bill for AI regulation, the bill bans all states from implementing AI regulations for the first 10 years of the bill's existence, raising concerns about what we can actually flex our First Amendment and other Bill
and that
of Rights.
means it pertains to the federal government, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it bans all states from making anything that crimps.
Yeah,
AI.
but you got to remember too, Colorado and a few other states, they do things that the federal government don't agree with. You know what I mean? So, and they seem to have gotten away with it. So
that was weird.
Yeah, you just got booted.
No, well, did you hear me talking or what?
You just went away.
You
That's
just
all it was.
disappeared. And I was like, he'll be right back, hopefully. So
Yeah, because I was talking and then I couldn't hear you talk, and then I went, "What the hell's going on here?"
You were just not there. You were just, gone. It wasn't a circle or nothing. It was just poof, disappeared.
Now we're down to 2. That's it.
Yeah, we were gone. But let me play these last 2 things I thought were pretty good, very informative, and you guys have probably not seen them. So because I always pick the weirdest crap. So, but here's the first one. I thought it was pretty good. He's pissed off, but these are different things that are going on. Okay. And this is one of the things that he got pissed off about because of how hard they're making it to even help other people. That's another thing. It's like they want to be able to stop you from, going to church. They want to stop you from being able to do anything without having to go through them, basically. So that's what I wanted you to see. That this guy is, I just really like this guy. He's an artist, but he's from New York. Scott.
I was taught at a young age to help those less fortunate. They but for the grace of God go I. And I enjoy doing that, helping people out. And I should do more. We always should do a little more. But one of the things I like doing, again, I'm not bragging, I'm just bringing a fucking point to a fucking head, is every couple of months I get a bunch of these McDonald's gift cards, $20 a pop. I get a couple of dozen. And I keep them in my car, my wallet, and when I see somebody panhandling, can I get $1? Can I get money? Or in the subway, or whatever it is. I give them these. Because they can't, some of us been there back in the day. When somebody hands you cash to get food, we ain't buying fucking food. You gotta buy food with this. Anyway, so I'm in the fucking store. I'm getting a bunch of shit, and I throw up a bunch of these, couple of dozen, 20 of them or whatever. $20 a pop. Oh, sir, we can only ring up 3 at a time, and then we have to go through the system again, run your new credit card. I was like, there's a line here. I'm not buying the store. I'm buying a couple of $100 worth of the. Oh, well, the system doesn't allow us to do this because of people steal and the scamming. And I'm like, all right, okay. And there's people rolling. They don't know what I'm buying. They just see this fucking asshole. Come on already, let's go. And I'm like, listen, okay, lady, go. So then, run the card. Okay, next. Oh, I need to see that card again. Manager, could you come here? Let me see your ID, sir. Picture ID next to this fucking card for $60 worth of these fucking things. What is your mother's maiden? What is your great-grandpappy, the town he lived in, what was his zip code? And what was your childhood animal's veterinarian? What was his fucking last 4 digits of social? This is trying to help people in the community, and this is the fucking shit I have to get aggravated about. Because of you fucking pacifist, liberal. It ain't conservatives doing this shit. Liberal, pacifist, sensitive jerk-offs who are fine with criminals, whether it be violent criminals setting innocent people on fire, or whether it's the fucking animals that run in and rampage a drugstore and steal everything under the sun, including things that they're not going to use. like foot fungus fucking powder, or fucking deodorant, or Q-tips, locked up like it's gold fucking bullions. And I gotta get aggravated. So I said, fuck it. Fuck it, just give me the 3. I gotta get the fuck out of here. You fucking liberal, woke-ass, pacifist jerk-offs who love the criminals more than the innocent people and society in a whole can go fuck yourself. It's all your fault. And you know it. Fuck me.
Well, I like him. I guess it's because he reminds me of Bruce, because he just says it how it is, and he's not embarrassed to say how he feels. And I think that's. I wish we had more people that way. I wish we had more people, even if it's brash or rough on the edges. A lot of people need to hear the facts, and it just pissed him off. This is somebody who was taking time out of his day to go do something nice for total strangers, and he got fucked, basically. He was able to buy 3 instead of $200 worth. He bought $60 worth. And it's just sad to me that that we've gotten to such a hard time now to do anything decent for people. You know what I mean? Remember during COVID, they shut down all the churches and stuff like that, but they left the brothels and the liquor stores open. It's just in the strip
Can't
bar.
go get healed, but you can go get some liquor and grab some 5-piece dark meat over at Church's Chicken.
Yeah, so it's like, it's disgusting, and it's all. I just knew the whole thing was a bullshit, because when they left some things open, and then they exempted all the post office workers, but they forced our veterans and our soldiers to do it. What the fuck? How does that make any sense? I don't know. I just thought this is a scam. This whole thing's a scam, and I've always felt that way, and that's why I never got the jab. I didn't do it. I said,
that reminded me today too at the hospital.
Yeah.
The nurse came in to do something and then commented, "Oh, I know how it can be. I had my 34-year-old son 2 years ago had a stroke. I wonder how."
That's sad.
And I went,
really sad.
Jam. Yeah. And I was like I'm going back, you moron. You morons. Idiots. So they greatest people.
Well, they're afraid, and they trust anyone that they think is in authority. What? That's the scary part. That's why BTK was just a dog catcher, but he loved pushing people around and using his authority that he had as a dog catcher to terrorize people in the neighborhoods and stuff. And on top of that, he was killing whole families of people. I mean, what a psycho bastard.
Weirdest. It's like,
so it's like,
yes, I'll be the opposite of that guy. I'll be
well, I know, but what I'm saying is a lot of people like getting in certain positions at work or, at different jobs, or go towards different jobs simply for the fact that they're huge narcissists and they feed on it. They feed on other people's fear and stuff. So, but here's
maybe it should be Jack Kerouac, Johnny Appleseed, Mark Twain combined. Mm-hmm. If you put all those 3 together, it's my size anyway. So it could be do that. I just walk around the planet and going, what the fuck's going on here? Why are we doing this? I'm serious. I'm just
and just wear a long white robe, and you'll probably have people watch.
Follow me. I don't want anybody to follow me. I don't want anybody. It's so weird. I don't want. It's so weird now. I want to be left alone. I'm going. I want to walk. I want to live a life and go somewhere, and I don't want to see any mentally ill people claiming shit that's not real. And I don't want to turn TV on and have the
you have to build your own place and only invite people that you've take a test or something. That's
or I should just get a harem.
Yeah, you get a harem. You have only women
or a seraglio.
At least once a month, each of them are not going to be.
They'll be all on the same cycle.
No, they're gonna get in sync. Damn it! Fuck. They are in sync already.
Some are, some aren't.
They are in sync. Emperor knows.
Hey,
yeah, it's so weird.
Came from a family of 5 women. I'm telling you, none of us had our periods at the exact same time.
That's weird because the 2 that are in my life have the same period at the same time.
They just happen to be on that cycle.
That's
just telling
true.
you.
I know. It's interesting.
It is interesting. Okay, I got one more that I want to share, and it's a doozy. So I can't wait for you guys to watch this. It's from the Guffill show. But I don't know if you saw this, but this guy recorded it as TV, and he's talking about this woman that is speaking out about books in the school library.
If y'all aren't watching Gutfield, y'all are missing out. Check this out.
What?
The section about
Listen.
educational materials and offering immunity to librarians was snuck in and tried to read some excerpts from inappropriate children's books currently available in school libraries. Roll it, Lovebird.
And that book, Me and Earl and the Dying Girl, are you gonna eat her pussy? Earl, I'm going to eat her pussy. Hey.
I would ask that if we not try to use that type of language in the chamber, let's try to keep some decorum. I know you're talking specific books, but if we could refrain those type of words differently, because there's also people and children watching this debate, I will ask kindly if you could just use either different.
Keep them in the library for the kids.
They want her to change the dialogue that she's using.
So let me get this straight. Kids can say in school. Adults can't say in the legislature. And I can't say here on the #1 late night show in the country.
Watch this.
I'm talking about my cat, of course, Mr. Piddlepaws. Adorable. Well, the lady wasn't having it. Watch.
Watch this.
You're telling me that this language isn't appropriate in this chamber. This is in elementary school libraries. So I'm assuming that you don't think this is appropriate for adults.
Watch this.
Is that correct?
Ma'am, you're questioning the speaker?
Okay, I will try to change some of the language with pretend words.
Listen to this.
Works for you? The book is called Lucky, and it says, give me a blow mob. Is that right? I think we can all figure out what that says.
What the fuck? Oh my God.
Kennedy, I don't know what a blow mob is. But I'm happy if the audience is willing to demonstrate.
Yeah,
you're not stopping these people that are on TikTok, on Instagram, on Snapchat, on all these different avenues where their shorts are getting more and more popular. They're able to get their point across, and they edit it the right way, just like this guy was doing. He was watching the show and he just was shocked how upset these people got when she used pussy, the word pussy, are you gonna eat her pussy or whatever. And then the other thing about blowjobs, and these are but they throw a tantrum in court or in their setup, but as soon as they leave, nobody does shit about whether or not
it's kabuki theater. You have one side complaining, the other side says no, and in the end, the books are still in the school. So, and again, that's what I'm saying. Stop sending your kid to public government schools, government everything. It's done. Yeah, it's the public-private partnership is a disease that has to be eradicated. NGOs have to be eradicated. All these organizations are just crippling humanity. It's just done.
Yeah, it was awful, but it's a factual thing that's been going on for a while in schools. And lots of parents have been kicked out of meetings and everything because they're mad. I mean, my daughter, when she was in kindergarten, she brought home a book, and this had pictures in it, and then some words at the bottom. That was it. And it was a tall, skinny book about kitty cats, and it was called Girl Cat, Tom Cat. And she brought it home. That's what she wanted to read. And I remember sitting down with her before she was going to go to bed and reading the book. And I'm turning the page and I'm reading about what they eat and the blah, blah, blah. And then I get to the middle part and it said Girl Cat and Tom Cat. Instead, two cats, it had their asses. One with balls and one without. And I'm like, what the fuck? I couldn't believe it. I closed the book and I said, let's get another book. I don't really like this one. This one's boring. So she let me pick another one out. And the next day I took this to the school and I said, what the hell is this doing in out here for a kindergartner to bring home and to check out? So I was pissed off. And quite a few times I've gone to the school. I took a puppy back to the school and gave it to the principal and said, you let my daughter buy this with Gallo bucks, from her school that she earned over the whole school year. And this is what she spent her $1 million on. And you didn't even ask permission if she could even have a dog. And then you guys wonder why there's so many dogs being dumped on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Covered with ticks and stuff, little puppies, because nobody fucking wants them. And you're giving them to kids that the parents don't even know that they're bringing home a puppy. I go, you guys are idiots. And I said, he's on the phone calling people trying to get this puppy, get rid of it. And I said, well, you should have thought about that before you sent it home with my daughter. I've done this for years, and I do it for my nieces and nephews. I've done it for many people and my friends because I don't have a problem telling them where to shove it because I think it's ridiculous that any parent would ever have to go through that. And if you don't fight for your kids, no one else is gonna. Okay, so Bruce, I'm ready to bring up some of your stuff. So which one do you want me to start with?
Hold up here.
Yeah, I got them. Because there's the Kash Patel, Joe Rogan, and then you got the California speaker. CNN's Van Jones seeks to capitalize on Trump. And then you got a deported MS-13 gang member.
I'm going to go to the Joe Rogan.
First one. Okay.
Kash
So
Patel.
Go ahead. Open that.
I'm going to throw you a feed.
Okay. Well, I just opened it. I was just going to present it, but you can do it. So just do that. And I'll share it. Okay, here we go.
Hold on. I think I slightly fucked up. Hold up. Just a moment. I believe. Where did I just see that? I just saw this on Twitter and I'm like, oh, I got to bring that up because it had stuff on Fauci.
Yeah.
And we could go through the whole 20-minute review of Kash Patel and Joe Rogan.
Whatever you want to bring up, let's just go for it.
Here we go.
Okay.
I think. Wait.
Are you about to go to bed?
I think I better go to bed because I have to go to the hospital tomorrow. Jesus Christ.
Oh, you got to get more tests?
Yeah, I got to do more stuff tomorrow. Yeah, it's just a lot going on. But again, I wanted to stay on as much long as I could.
Yeah.
I just told. Yeah.
Thank you. We made it through all the stuff that I pulled up. So.
Yeah. I'm still very tired and I haven't slept well, and it's the doctors are saying that, so I need to get more sleep and whatever. But thank you everybody out there. Keep everyone prayers and stuff. Just my brother, everybody, my nephew, everybody's sick right now. We're all hanging in there. But anyway, follow me online and let's have some fun. We'll talk to you later, guys. Take care, Bruce. Take care, Janet. Take care, everybody else. Have a good night.
Take care, Ruben.
Thank you, Ruben. See you later.
Bye.
Okay. So go ahead.
So for 20 minutes, these two have a back and forth about everything. That's boring as shit. I don't understand how you could say this is good content.
Well, a lot of people like him. He makes a buttload of money.
But here's where it goes off the rails.
Name names because I always forget people. I mean, we just had a great breakthrough this week on Fauci. So Senator Rand Paul, Senator Kennedy, and I hate naming names because I always forget people, are doing a great job with us on COVID origins. And We've got multiple investigations open on that. But they had always been looking for Fauci's original phone, or not original, but phones and devices he used while he was Fauci back in Trump one during COVID. And nobody had found it till 2 days ago.
Really?
Yeah. Now, look, your audience and everybody listening to it shouldn't jump to the conclusion everything's in there. We'll look at it. We'll pull it. We'll rip it, as we say. And maybe it's deleted. Maybe it's not. But at least we found it. And at least now we can tell the American people we've been looking, because it is of public importance to figure out, did that guy lie? Did he intentionally mislead the world and cause countless deaths? We owe those answers to the American people. And the best evidence ever is always the people's evidence who created it. And so now we're going to go and exploit those hard drives. But I think a victory for the American people that we broke with Congress is that we did find it. We're not done. We're still looking, and we're on the case.
That's interesting.
So we finally got all the stuff, and now that the process is the about 10 electronic devices they got to figure out that Fauci had.
Yeah.
Now they have
And
to
break them
disseminate.
down.
They got to break it all down.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty impressive. I thought you'd want to know about that.
Yeah, no, I didn't know about it. But I've been in bed all week.
The rest of that show is boring as shit. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you got to listen to it and let me know, and let me at least find out about that, because I didn't even know they'd found Fauci's phone. Was there anything else on that list of stuff that you said you wanted to, bring up?
Yeah, there's a kind of a ballsy post from the next one is the California speaker.
Yeah.
And
are you going to bring it and I'll just post it up for you?
That I will.
Okay.
So
Just want to say thank you to everybody that's hanging out and watching with us tonight. I really appreciate everyone.
I don't want to take up too much of your time, because I still feel like you probably need to go to sleep again. But
you,
I feel like you're going to need rest for tomorrow.
Well, I am. I'm gonna need some rest, but I want to get up early and try to go to the gym, because I only did half my workout. I was so weak. I didn't even think I was gonna make. I mean, I was sweating like a pig. It was like I hadn't worked out in months or something. It's really weird, really weird. But I'm thankful that I did it, and I didn't get to tan because I was just too tired, and I was like, I just want to go home and get something to eat and blah blah. So, oh well. It's okay.
So this guy, California speaker, says, I'm going to consider withholding federal taxes from the Trump administration. And so he shoot his mouth off about a federal law after learning the Trump admin is going to be dropping the hammer on California. So multiple sources told the CNN that Trump administration is preparing to cancel a large portion of federal funding for California, which might begin as soon as today, the 6th of June. Mm-hmm. According to this outlet, Team Trump is specifically looking at cutting entirely off the federal grant funding for the University of California and California State University systems. They've been livid over California's open defiance of federal law, especially over transgender issues. President Trump issued an executive order in February, which was supposed to ensure that biological men could not compete in women's sports. But California and other blue states have defied his order and continue to allow men to compete against women. So Kush Desai released the following statement Friday afternoon, slamming California, but adding that no final decision has been made. No taxpayer should be forced to fund the demise of the country. No final decisions, however, on any potential future action by the administration have been made. Any new discussion suggesting otherwise will be considered pure speculation. So Robert Rivas erupts in anger, and he threatens responses, including withholding federal taxes from the federal government. It's unconstitutional and vindictive, he writes on Blue Sky, the nation's premier social media for pedophiles and those who don't like America. We're the nation's economic engine, the largest donor state. We deserve our fair share. I'll use every legal and constitutional tool available to defend California, We must look at every option, including withholding federal taxes. So he's willing to go for a federal crime, tax evasion, completely no bueno with, most lawyers. They're going to be like, don't do that. Don't do that. But he's willing to try it. So DOJ, we hope they send agents to put Rivas in cuffs as he pulls this stunt. Innocent J6ers were persecuted for far less and far harsher.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to have sympathy for people who vote for these people over and over again.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be a bitch or anything, but, it was a lot of work and hard for me to leave where I was. And I miss it so badly because I miss everything about my life. I have nothing, basically. I don't want to be mean about that. I have family here. I have chickens. It's so much more work that I have to do. There's a lot of, things like that now I'm expected to do by myself, basically. And I don't have the same available money to be able to go and, have a promo every day if I wanted one, because there was always something going on in the tourist industry, or you live near a big city that has universities and things like that. You're constantly there's promo jobs that you can get. And I don't have that. I'm in the middle of nowhere, and I'm trying to find other avenues to be able to make a few dollars here and there, or I'm going to have to, stop doing this and get a regular job like everyone else, and just not be able to do this. I want to do this because this is costing me money that I'm not making back, but I do it because to me, it's important that there's so many uninformed people. I'm still shocked. It's like I say that a lot about this being, common sense being a superpower, because people just seem to have nothing. They don't think about anything. They don't plan anything. They don't save for their future. They don't prepare in any way. It's like knowing you have to go to work every day next week, okay, and that you're going to be doing extra hours, and that you got to eat before you go to work, and you got to eat lunch while you're at work, and then you got to have dinner. That's 3 meals a day at least, and then maybe some snacks. But you have nothing in the refrigerator, but you don't go shopping. Okay. Then on your day off, you don't go shopping. Then each day you're scrounging around trying to have something for breakfast. Okay, to eat something, and you're opening old cans of whatever you got instead of going shopping and getting some things, or you're buying something on your way there, which is 5 times more expensive than making it at home yourself. So you're not being frugal or trying to save money and eat healthier, so that you feel better when you're at work or whatever. It's like nobody wants to put any effort in to actually living your life. You just want to get the shit done. And then we wonder why all these businesses are failing, and why the quality of stuff is shit. Everyone complains about going to the DMV, okay, and having to wait for hours and hours, especially when they're standing around, they're not really doing anything. It's a fact that they don't care. They don't have to be efficient because they've never been held accountable. And that's the facts, is that when you don't hold people accountable for what they're doing, then why should they? They're still going to get a check. They're still going to go to work tomorrow, and they know they're never going to lose their job. Why do they care? Why would they care whether you have a good time when you come, as long as each of their days is good for them? They're not tired when they get home. They just mosey around and do whatever they want and do it at their own speed. So I'm just saying, until we force them to perform better because we're their client, nothing's going to get better. It's just like any other store. How many times are you going to go to a restaurant that every time you order a steak, it's too done? Every single time.
Every fucking time.
Okay. And then I won't keep going. if I go there twice and both times I go, they get my order fucked up, or they miss up my drinks, or the service is really shitty, or that it takes an hour to get my food when it's not even that busy, I don't go back. I'll find another restaurant to go to, because they lose my patronage if I don't feel like I got what I paid for. Because if they want me to pay them, then I get something for my money. And if they're not going to do what I need them to do, then why would I want to spend my money there? That's like going to the movies and there's a blockbuster out, okay, and they said that it's in 4 theaters, this thing. So you buy a ticket to see the blockbuster, but then when you get in, after you got your ticket with the name of the blockbuster name on it, they said, well, there's only seats left in the so-and-so theater, and it's not showing this movie. It's showing other dumbass.
Okay. Janet, we're going to go to my favorite part about buying a movie ticket nowadays. When I go to the theater, when I go there, I say, hey, are there any seats left for this movie? And they bring up the diagram, and they say, here are the available seats. And they show me a diagram of the theater and which seats are available. I usually pick one in the dead center of the theater for the best sound quality. Ford versus Ferrari is one way that I really was happy about that. But I got to say that's what I love nowadays. Even though everybody else is like, oh my God, you like having assigned seats? Yeah, actually, I fucking do. Because if nobody else has paid for the dead center, Bruce is going to pay for it. That way, if you want to wear a shitty hat, or if you want to wear something that makes your silhouette imprint in my line of sight between what me and the viewing screen are supposed to be sharing, I don't need to have anybody else interrupt my viewing experience. So I always try to pick a seat away from other people. I don't even like going to theaters with people anymore. That's what COVID has spoiled me with. I don't like going to see films with others. Wow. But I'll go do it. But I typically will find a spot alone if I can, or if the movie is overpacked, I'll just go to the next showing. I'm good. I'll figure it out. But I love how the Draft House sells you a seat. No, they sell you a specific seat. You don't. If you want to get up and move during the middle of the theater, you possibly could. I guess. I don't know why you'd want to do that, because sometimes the ushers can be dicks. Be like, why didn't you move? Why did you move from your original seating area? They'll ask you that. But
the seat was wet.
Yeah, maybe the seat was wet.
It wasn't. You just tell them what seat was wet, so I moved. You can sit there.
And if there's nobody else in theater, they're not going to give a fuck. They're just happy the theater had a viewer. But it's a good thing where we live down here, because there are times where like you do have to like bring in the theater, like, hey, you sold me this seat, here's my ticket, and this jackass or this fat bitch is in my damn seat. Get him out. Thank you so much. And that's fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
It is. I'm
well, where I'm at in Hillbillyville, there's no assigned seats. The biggest theater that I can get to has, I think it's 11 cinemas on 2 different ends. And then they have the really nice ones right in the center. And you can get them like the reclining seats and all that good stuff. It's really nice. But you can't pick your seats. You go in and you find a place if there's a spot. But what I was basically saying is, if you get that every time you went to that movie theater and they always gave you a ticket to a sold out movie, then there's no seat for you. Okay, right?
Yeah.
You'd have to stand up or sit on the floor or whatever. How many times are you going to keep going back to the theater? What I was using as example because I don't know that many people in real life that every time they go somewhere and they get treated like dirt, basically you're always last. They don't fix your drink right. It's like you mean nothing to them. Then why would you want to spend your money there? You wouldn't, right? So most people would leave. And that's why businesses go out of business, because over time, if they can't keep the seats filled for whatever business it is, or sell the products that are in their store, then they go out of business. That's just a fact. And that's the way it's supposed to work. So if you're shit, if you sell shitty products or you sell shitty vehicles or crappy food or whatever it is, nobody's going to buy your crap. Just like Bud Light. You know, why would I want to buy Bud Light?
How
When
Bud Light was a #1 brand for years. Just that makes me sad.
Well, my mother's favorite beer was Coors Light.
Oh, another type of urine. Okay.
Yeah, I hated beer. I thought beer tastes like shit. I just never drank it. And every so often, my mom would bring one, a Coors Light out to drink after we were mowing and stuff. But you know what? I could drink the whole thing down in almost no time because I was dying. You know, I was so thirsty and tired and hot. So I drink it. But basically, she said it's almost like all water. Is what she said. So she said that was my way of watering it.
I piss a harder stream than Coors Light.
So, you know, she called it the silver bullet or whatever it was called. But I mean, everybody has something out there they really like or want. But if you get good service, you're going to go back. And I brag at places. If this place treats me good and the food's good, this is what really sucks is you go to this place 5 times and you get treated great. You just love it. And it's like, wow, this is a great food restaurant. You know, you and your daughter go and the food's great. And you're like, oh, this is so good. I can't wait till so-and-so comes. And then you bring them. And then it's shit that night. There's no good service. Food is shit. You know, it just seems like, when I want to impress somebody, I never can because the service ends up being horrible. So I look like a fool because I'm trying to get someone to enjoy themselves at a restaurant that's treating them like dirt. You know what I mean? So it sucks because you just can't do it just seems like no matter how hard you try, it's never going to be good enough because the person that works the hardest at doing stuff is the one that never gets, gets it. It seems like the person who barely does anything is the one that gets all the satisfaction out of it.
Hardwick has an interesting question.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible that part of why it seems like nothing's happening in terms of arrests and charges is that it's being saved for right before midterm elections for maximum effect?
Maybe.
If that's the case, boy, I'd like to think so, but we're only 50 days or less away from the start of all of this. That seems like some excessively long-term planning. Go ahead, Janet.
No, but that's a great question. I mean, honestly, I think I've said that a couple times that I honestly believe that if they don't arrest somebody for something after all the years we've been waiting for it, like Comey or Hillary or, somebody big, somebody that was involved in Trump's first administration and then the whole Biden bullshit. Okay, right? Somebody in those 8 years of time isn't arrested for some of the bullshit that we know has happened. Okay. Whatever it is, if somebody's arrested and they're starting to be prosecuted, I think a lot more people will say, see, Trump's trying, he's doing the best he can. And his team is working hard, trying to make sure they have all the dots, on the I's and the T's crossed, blah, 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 to make sure that it sticks. And hopefully that'll help because right now we only have a 1-seat majority. And if that person doesn't agree, then we have J.D. Vance to break the tie, right? But that's not, think about it. I was telling you guys that it was going to be really close. No way. It's going to be a landslide for Trump. It's going to be Trump, Trump, Trump. And I go, yeah, Trump. But the states are going to give us a buttload of bullshit assholes. They're going to do everything they can to stop everything. And that's exactly what they're doing. And it's working. See, that's what's so sad. And what's sad is all these states with the big rhinos and all these dumbass Democrats and liberals and people that think that they know better than you what to spend your tax dollars on, and they're winning because they're getting away with all this shit, just like what we showed earlier with the land grabs and Hawaii's. Nobody's ever said anything about. I want to try to get back online and start looking. Is what's happening with all that land still? Is it somebody putting huge hotels and casinos, or, what are they doing with it? Because when you're being forced to pay taxes on land that you can't even go on because it's supposedly, on lockdown or something, then and you can't earn money from it, you can't do anything with it, you can't build on it, you can't fix it, and you still have to pay taxes on it. And you got to know that the Hawaii taxes are out the wazoo. So how are these people going to be able to do that for many, many years, waiting for them to pull their heads out of their ass and let people put back the stuff they want on their property, because they're going to lose it all. And then that's how they take your land. You're late on your taxes. Oh, well, we're going to take it from you. Here's half the money that's, your property's worth. And we're going to build $1 billion, corporation, blah, blah, blah on it. See, they're going to make money off you, but fuck you for you wanting to make any money for you and your family. See, it's disgusting. I can't believe there's not more people than 77,000 or 77 million that want to see these people run over with a bulldozer or whatever in the next election again. I want to see more people voting for conservative values.
I'm so happy to hear you say that. You recognize that 21 years ago, I believe it was 21 years ago, Marvin Hegemeyer did his little tour of Granby, and that wonderful the tank guy, killed the killdozer.
Yeah, he was driving into buildings.
Mm-hmm. I'd go back in time and warn him about the basement.
Yeah, there was a couple people showing that video, I think, on my timeline a couple days ago, because I only saw it, for a few minutes, because I've been wasn't awake very long during the day, and plus I didn't know whether it was nighttime or daytime because I had my curtains closed and I'd have to get up and wander around and try not to fall down because my balance was off. Everything. Have you ever had a migraine before?
No, thankfully.
It's horrible. It was the worst one I ever had. So, but they say when you get old, you don't have them anymore. So hopefully, I'll get old enough to where my body says, she's not worth it. It's not happening. That would be really good because it sucked. I was so weak because of it. But I've talked about all the stuff I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, well, the stuff I was going to talk about, and I'm pretty okay. We can put a button on this one.
This whole Elon Musk thing wasn't near as bad as a lot of people were trying to make it out to be. You know what I mean? It was like a little petty squabble between a toddler and an adult.
2 little kids, that's it.
That's what it was. Basically, that's how I looked at it. And some of the comments about it, I thought I was really impressed with. I loved the fact that I had so many different people sending me different versions and different points of view on it, because that's one reason why I like so many different apps, because Instagram, you're going to get a different point of view on it. And you know what? It's really cracked me up is that when I first started TikTok, it was all stupid videos like kitty cats and people stuffing their face so full until they throw up, just dumb shit like that. Like those 2 guys sitting in 2 chairs facing each other under a tree. And then they had their eyes and stuff covered up. And then they had this giant water bottle like you'd see in an office, and they had a rope on it, and it had it half full of water. And then they just started spinning it around them. And they're just sitting there waiting for it to whack them upside the head and stuff. And I'm like, and then we wonder why the gene pool's going, running out. I don't know. I just don't understand what men get out of that kind of behavior of beating themselves senseless, basically. You know what I mean? It just seems it was so pathetically stupid when I was watching it. It's like they were doing a Survivor, something from the TV show Survivor, but knowing they're never, ever going to get any money. It's just like, why? and they're covered with bruises. They might have had concussions and have to go to the hospital, and yet they still going to do it. Why is that? That's a good answer for women. It's why women live longer than men, because women think about, the aftermath of whatever dumbass stunt you're about to pull. Oh, and there was this horrible murder I watched, a murder trial of some woman and a guy that she had went over to her boyfriend's house, I guess, and he was living with his mother. And they were high on meth and drinking and some other drugs. And they do that thing where they choke each other and stuff, whatever that's called, asphyxiation, sexual asphyxiation or whatever. And that she said she was going in and out of consciousness, but she was using a chain around the guy's neck, like a real heavy chain. And that when she woke up, that he was blue already. So basically, she cut him all up and chopped him up in pieces, cut off his head, put it in a bucket, and left it in his mother's basement. It was like all his body parts and stuff everywhere. Why she was all messed up, on these drugs and stuff. I'm like, golly, every person that that's a drug addict should have to watch this trial. I mean, that should be something that they force every single inmate, drug addicts, alcoholics and stuff, to see trials of the things that these people have done when they were drinking, or people they've killed while they were drinking. Not the person that actually did it, but other people's, actions from drinking and stuff. But then I watched that stuff coming all over all the different apps about the dad that killed his 3 little daughters, suffocated them to death so he wouldn't have to
fucking terrible.
give up custody. Did you see that?
No, that's terrible.
I know it's I get lots of stuff because I'm following lots and lots of people to try to get as much, and that's not something I would talk about on the show, but or show pictures and stuff. But the fact that we're now in a country where the mental health of our people are so bad that somebody is willing, an ex-military guy is willing to suffocate his 3 young daughters. I think the oldest was 9 years old. To not to let the wife have them. I mean, it's just sick. You can't fix that kind of shit. And the thought of what those girls went through is devastating. It reminded me of that other case that was I think it was in Colorado, where the dad was having an affair with some woman from the offices where he worked. He drove like a truck, and he had to go and check on like oil, things that go poop, 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 like binners or whatever those are called. The little things that open and close. Okay, something like that. He would do that, and then they had these big tanks that were up on stilts, and he had killed his pregnant wife, and she was supposed to have a boy, and he killed her, strangled her to death, and he buried her in a shallow grave out near where one of the places he was working. And then he took the 2 daughters with him. He suffocated each of them with his bare hands over their mouth. And then he took each one after he killed them, and then took them up to each of these little oil tanks in the top. He was telling me it was like an 8-inch diameter top, with a spout that you open, I guess, where they put more in or something. And he put their little body in there, and then he stomped on their little heads to get them to go down in the thing.
Yeah.
You remember that when it was on trial? And the guy is such a piece of shit. They put him in. Do you know that there's whole prisons just for skanky, disgusting pieces of shit like those men I'm talking about, the ones who killed their little daughters? So that they'll be safe.
General population, though, can we?
Well, they won't. They'll put them in because they're pussies. Okay, like BTK. Okay, he begged for not to get the death penalty, so he begged, I'll tell you more information or help you find this, that, and the other, or whatever. And that's how they get away with it. They don't die because they're giving closure to people. And I understand that, and it really sucks. But that person, after they've done that, shouldn't be able to be by themselves all day long and not put out there with the rest of the guys. Like the person I'm talking about, someone that happened in my own family, I've talked about. I haven't heard anything. I keep waiting to hear if they've gotten the crap beat out of them or, something, because they're an ex-police officer, ex-military, and he diddles little girls. He's disgusting. And I haven't heard anything because basically whoever his pals are keeping him out of bounds, basically. And it's just sad because I wish somebody knew that he was in there and what kind of person he really was, because he's a big coward. But before he went in there, he was dating a person of color. So maybe if she's coming to see him and stuff like that, thinking that maybe when he gets out, if ever, because he's supposed to get 20 years, which he could have gotten 60, but in 2 more years, he's going to be up for parole, which is disgusting, which means that all the victims have to go and beg them not to let them out. It's disgusting. It's like torturing all the victims over and over again because they just do this. Bad. Instead of trying to do something to stop these people. It's all, I'm sorry, I could talk about this kind of shit for forever, because this is the kind of stuff that really just irks me. Really, it just tears me up. I just can't believe we have a society that accepts people that do this kind of stuff to kids, sick, perverted, freaky shit. And it's not just men. Okay. See, a lot of people don't realize that most of these kids that were trafficked in the movie that was about the people, the raiding and helping people, they use women.
Mm-hmm.
Because young girls and stuff will go with women thinking the woman's going to be fine. And remember the brothel documentary I told you about? There was women in those brothels, and they were drugging all the kids that were 10 and under and cleaning up their boo-boos and their swellings and trying to stitch them back up and stuff to keep them as usable as possible and drugged up, to keep the clients happy. And they were 10 and under. That's how old they were. And if you wanted a newborn, you could pay enough money, you could get one. It's disgusting. The fact that we have human beings on this planet, real people that have means to money because they pay a lot of money for this shit, that can just get on the phone and say, hey, I want me a juicy little newborn, and pay somebody and get one. Like it's nothing. Like it's a piece of meat at the grocery store, a slab of beef. It's disgusting.
Yep.
It's disgusting. And I hope that they figure this out somehow and start figuring out how to prosecute people that do that, because that is not normal process. In some religions, I guess it might be, but in this country, it's not. And people should be held accountable for it. Sorry to be so depressing, everybody. I didn't mean to do that, but I can't help it. I get off on a tangent, and I just want to see some of these people punished for doing stuff to children.
I just want to see a dead pile of communists. That's all.
Well,
the majority of them have no problem with
be a child molester. I do believe that.
Ready to put a button on it?
Yep.
Okay.
I say good night to everybody, and everybody have a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk to you later.
Be well, everybody. Thank you so much for being part of this show. Come see Janet tomorrow. She'll be with the big high-level Pathfinder group, and we're going to have some old faces return. Look forward to it.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I hope I can remember what I was supposed to be doing, because it's been a while. But everybody have a great time. And what's the movie we're doing on Sunday?
I Come in Peace.
I Come in Peace. I haven't seen it. So if you guys want to...
I watched it for you earlier today. I'm going to watch it again on Sunday with you.
Okay, well... I
like this movie.
Well, good. I haven't seen it, so hopefully I'll like it. But hopefully, everyone who wants to see this movie or hear about it, can hang out, come watch it with us, or not watch it with us, but come and watch the review with us after we're done.
Link during the show, I give you the link where you can go watch it yourself on your own.
Yeah.
And on your own onus, and you don't have to worry about things. When I give a link out, typically it's a free link. Sometimes there be a little squiggly writing at the bottom. Shh, quiet. Go ahead, Janet. Oh, right as she's sucking down a drink.
Sorry.
Isn't that
yeah,
good?
it's lemonade. My throat is so dry, but plus my allergies are terrible. But I didn't have medicine for a couple days either because I was just out.
Passed out.
I couldn't really do much at all. But man, it's just really weird how the whole thing. Because one thing I was worried about is I kept saying, should I take my blood pressure? Because you got a headache. If it's so bad, it feels like it's in a vice. How can your blood pressure not go up? But everything I looked up, it said no, it doesn't affect your blood pressure. How is that possible? So I don't know. I don't understand. Yeah, I'm not either. That's why I said I was looking it up online, but I couldn't figure anything out. But thank you, everyone, and I hope you guys have a wonderful.
First off, let me convey to my family, friends, and supporters that now is not the time to gloat. We must remember that most of our left-leaning friends are good people who want the same things in life as we do, but simply think differently on how to get there. It is now time to be the bigger man, to extend an olive branch and unite all reasonable people of this great nation. God has blessed America, and together with President Trump, we will make America great again.